Hello, everyone, and welcome to Next Generation Saints. I'm your host, Nick Coons. Before we get started today, I want to remind everyone to like and subscribe to this podcast wherever you may be listening to podcasts. It helps in the algorithm so more people get to hear the Word of God. So, happy Inauguration Day to everyone. We are going to be inaugurating the 47th President of the United States today, Donald J. Trump. Now, you can either love him, hate him, or be indifferent to him. Everyone has an opinion. I wanted to actually cover something that Donald Trump, President Trump was talking about, because more importantly to most people, and the reason to really focus on politics right now, is the United States had the Supreme Court ban TikTok. Well, it pretty much did that. They banned TikTok for fear of national security reasons, because the CCP, or the Chinese Communist Party, was actually taking personalized information from everyone and was scanning their faces, using your cameras on your phones through the app without you knowing it. A lot of really bad things were happening. So, in the name of national security, the Supreme Court sided and said that we had to ban TikTok. So, a lot of people have been very upset about this, and I understand that completely. As a man who likes to provide for his family, I understand having an income, losing a job, and not having money coming in. Now, I also understand at the same time a business perspective here, because I'm a businessman. I run a podcast here at Next Generation Saints podcast studio. I run this. I am the co-owner, and founder, and basically the head honcho. You deal with me, you deal with the whole system. So I understand as a business person what this would be like to have your business operate through TikTok. I also understand as a business that you need to have multiple venture capitalism. You need to have multiple businesses, multiple ways of income coming in. That's just the way it has to be, especially on social media. Never put all your eggs in one basket. So with that said, everyone's freaking out about TikTok going away. Now, I get it. Trust me, I get it. But here's some news I need to report to you. Trump is actually signing an executive order to bring back TikTok tomorrow at his inauguration. This executive order is going to be one of what he has claimed to be 100 executive orders he is going to sign on day one, as in after he gets sworn in at the Oval Office and his and the parade route, or whatever it may be called, down Pennsylvania Avenue to the White House. When he gets in, he plans to sign executive order. So I'm going to read this from Truth Social to you. This is Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, speaking from Truth Social about this. So you don't have any misinformation. I'm just going to read this to you. I am asking companies not to let TikTok stay dark. I will issue an executive order on Monday to extend the period of time before the law prohibits take effect, so that we can make a deal to protect our national security. The order will be also confirmed that there will be no liability for any company that helped TikTok from going dark before my order. Americans deserve to see our exciting inauguration on Monday, as well as other events and conversations. I would like the United States to have a 50% ownership position in a joint venture. By doing this, we save TikTok, keep it in good hands, and will allow it to stay up. Without U.S. approval, there is no TikTok. With our approval, it is worth hundreds of billions of dollars, maybe trillions. Therefore, my initial thought is a joint venture between a current owner and/or new owners, whereby the U.S. gets a 50% ownership in a joint venture set up between U.S. and whichever purchase we so choose. On top of that, I also saw TikTok make an announcement, and I don't have it right in front of me to read it to you guys, but in essence said this. And a lot of people I was on social media, were doing this. They're crossing out Trump's name like crazy on it. But TikTok in essence said that they're not permanently banned. There's a temporary suspension over what's going on, where they can't be operating in the United States. But they did thank President Trump directly on it. And I think a lot of people got upset at that. And I'll share my opinion in just a second on that. But they were thanking President Trump to working out a deal. So it should be back. By the time you hear this, it should be back and operational Monday morning. Or at least Monday afternoon, evening, East Coast time, because when Trump gets inaugurated at noon. But I live over in Arizona, so we won't see for a few hours. So TikTok, I don't believe, is going to be banned permanently at all. I believe it is going to be saved, 110%. But again, going back to my main point here is a lot of people were put all their eggs in one basket in a business where they said, "Wait, oh my gosh, TikTok is gone. How are we going to possibly pay for things? How are we going to take care of our families? How are we gonna, and I get that, I get that. But the main issue I get of this is you're putting all your eggs in one basket. Diversify it. You need to be like, I'm on Spotify, that's true, but I'm also on Apple Podcasts. I'm also on Bullhorn. I'm also going across different podcast platforms. So, and Anchor.fm, which I use, which was bought out by Spotify, also puts me on multiple other platforms. There's a lot of them I'm on. So, I can't list all of them off the top of my head here, but I can list a few of them off the top of my head. But guys, we need to diversify, and TikTok will be coming back, whether for the better or for the worse. So I want to let you guys up to date on this thing, and it will be happening when Donald Trump walks into office, when President Trump signs executive orders, and so we can all turn around and say, you know what? Thanks, President Trump. Appreciate it. Nice thing that you're doing here. I'm glad you're willing to work it out so more people can get their TikTok accounts back and enjoy the social media platform. And you guys can go back onto there. You can either be just a spectator and watch TikTok, or you also can be an avid contributor to TikTok, which is fine. You can love him, you can hate him, you can be indifferent to Trump, you can do all that. I always encourage the First Amendment. So, I just want you guys update on TikTok. So, until next time, really fast before we end, I want to go ahead and remind everyone who listens to the podcast, go ahead and like and subscribe to this podcast wherever you may be listening to podcasts. It helps with getting algorithms so more people get to hear the word of God, and occasionally we get news updates as well. So, until next time we meet again, may God richly bless y'all, my dearly beloved.